Everyone loves a good rivalry, right? Whether it's in sports, movies, or even everyday life, rivalries bring out the best, and sometimes the worst, in people. For Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, their rivalry started way before they both reached the WNBA. But on that fateful day in 2024, things hit an entirely new level. We're diving into how this clash between two of the most exciting talents in women's basketball turned into a one-sided masterclass that left Angel Reese humiliated on her own court. Let's take a step back first and explore how their paths crossed and why this rivalry became one of the biggest stories in women's sports. Caitlin Clark's rise to stardom. Caitlin Clark's story begins in West Des Moines, Iowa, where she was born on January 22, 2002. Raised in a family deeply connected to sports, her father, Brent Clark, and mother, Ann Nizzy Clark, both played integral roles in nurturing her love for the game. From a young age, Caitlin was different. While most girls were playing in recreational leagues designed for their skill level, Caitlin found herself playing against boys in recreational leagues because her father couldn't find a girls' league that could challenge her. This hunger for competition and improvement set the tone for her future career. Clark attended Dowling Catholic High School in West Des Moines, Iowa, where she became a household name in women's basketball circles. She was a McDonald's All-American and ranked as the fourth best player in her class by ESPN. Her skills and competitive nature only grew as she entered college at the University of Iowa. From day one, Caitlin was a force of nature. During her freshman season with the Hawkeyes, Clark led the NCAA Division I in scoring and earned All-American honors. It wasn't long before she began rewriting the history books. By the time she was a sophomore, she became the first women's player in NCAA Division I history to lead in both points and assists in a single season. Think about that for a second. Not only was she scoring at will, but she was setting up her teammates at an elite level. These numbers aren't just impressive, they're unheard of. By her junior year, Clark had led Iowa to its first national championship game, securing the National Player of the Year award in the process. Her senior year was just as stellar. She once again led Division I in points and assists and set Big Ten single-season marks in both categories. When Caitlin Clark was selected as the first overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft by the Indiana Fever.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark.
It felt inevitable. The Fever knew they were getting a generational talent. Angel Reese, the intimidating force. On the other side of the coin, you have Angel Reese, a player whose path to stardom mirrored Caitlin's in many ways, but carried a very different narrative. Born on May 6, 2002 in Randallstown, Maryland, Angel grew up with basketball in her blood. Angel was a basketball prodigy at St. Francis Academy in Baltimore. She earned McDonald's All-American honors in 2020 and was ranked the second best player in her class by ESPN. Reese took her talents to Maryland, where she instantly became the highest-ranked recruit in program history. After transferring to LSU, Reese's game hit new heights. During her junior year, Reese led LSU to its first national championship, earning the Most Outstanding Player award. She became a dominant rebounding force, setting an NCAA record for double-doubles in a single season and an SEC record for rebounds. With her aggressive style of play, dominance on the boards, and the swagger to match, Angel became a fan favorite, especially after being dubbed Bayou Barbie. Her success at LSU cemented her status as a future star in the WNBA, and she was selected 7th overall by the Chicago Sky.
With the 7th pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Chicago Sky select Angel Reese.
In the 2024 WNBA draft. Rivalry, NCAA roots. The tension between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese started in college during the 2023 NCAA tournament. Clark, known for her fierce competitiveness and icy demeanor on the court, had little tolerance for trash talk. Reese, on the other hand, embraced the mental aspect of the game and wasn't afraid to get into her opponents' heads. In the 2023 National Championship game, LSU and Iowa faced off in what was one of the most anticipated matchups in women's college basketball history. Reese got the best of that game, leading LSU to a national title while delivering some well-publicized trash talk aimed directly at Clark. Angel's taunt, often referred to as "Ring Me," symbolized the power shift in women's basketball. For Angel, it was more than just winning a championship. It was about standing up to the player who was hailed as the next big thing in women's basketball. The 2024 Showdown, Indiana Fever versus Chicago Sky. Fast forward to 2024, Caitlin Clark, now a member of the Indiana Fever, was already showing why she was the first overall pick in the WNBA draft. On the other hand, Angel Reese had settled in with the Chicago Sky and was still putting up strong performances, but the narrative was beginning to shift. When the Indiana Fever faced off against the Chicago Sky, fans knew it wasn't just another regular season game. This was Clark versus Reese, a rematch of sorts, after their intense NCAA tournament showdown. The game started as you would expect, with both teams feeling each other out, but by the second quarter, Caitlin Clark was in full control. By the end of the third quarter, Clark had racked up 23 points and 9 assists, leading the Fever to a comfortable 78-64 lead. Reese, on the other hand, had only managed 5 points and 7 rebounds, but the real story was in the fourth quarter. Clark's masterclass and Reese's struggles. As the fourth quarter rolled on, the Fever's lead ballooned to 24 points. Caitlin Clark continued to dazzle, hitting deep three-pointers, setting up her teammates with no-look passes, and playing the game with a level of joy and confidence that only comes with domination. Meanwhile, Reese's frustrations hit a boiling point. With her team down by 27 points and the game effectively over, Reese tried to secure her double-double. While Angel was desperately fighting to reach her double-double, Clark was on the bench laughing, sipping Gatorade, and enjoying the game with her teammates. By the final whistle, Clark had posted 31 points and 12 assists. Reese, despite her late efforts, finished with a modest 10 points and 11 rebounds. Aftermath and legacy. The aftermath of this showdown wasn't just about who won and lost, it was about the storylines that followed. Caitlin Clark solidified her reputation as a transcendent talent capable of taking over games on the biggest stage. Angel Reese, while still a dominant player in her own right, was exposed in a way that many had not anticipated. The talk of her trash-talking prowess and physical dominance now felt hollow in the shadow of Clark's clinical performance. What's next for Caitlin and Angel? So what does the future hold for Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? It's clear that Caitlin is on a trajectory to become one of the greatest players in WNBA history. Her ability to score from anywhere on the court, combined with her leadership and basketball IQ, makes her a player who can carry a franchise for years to come. As for Angel Reese, her journey is still unfolding. There's no denying her talent, but she'll need to make some adjustments if she wants to live up to the expectations placed on her. The WNBA is a different beast than college. And as we've seen, success at one level doesn't always guarantee success at the next. So, what does this mean for women's basketball? It means that rivalries like Clark versus Reese will continue to push the sport forward. These kinds of matchups are what make sports so captivating. The personalities, the stories, and the moments where one player rises above the rest. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are at the forefront of this new era in women's basketball, and while this game was a definitive moment, their rivalry is far from over. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the day Caitlin Clark humiliated Angel Reese, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more content on the biggest stories in sports. What do you think? Will Reese bounce back in their next showdown, or is Clark just on another level? Let's hear your predictions.